thought I'd show you what I just scored. This is an Einhell STE 850 gasoline powered generator. And yeah, well, all the specs that are important are here. It's got 0.8 kilowatts, so 800 watts in total. That's okay. And yeah, I got this fairly cheap, and it works. It works just fine. And well, the reason why it was so cheap is, well, let's have a look at the gasoline valve. That doesn't look good. Well, the thing that happened is that the previous owner somehow broke the lever off. No idea how he did that. And he was just basically just jamming a screwdriver up in the top in there and using that to open and close it all the time, which is, I would just say, pretty stupid, when you just could have used some pliers to grab the remaining tab and move that instead. So yeah, anyways. And when it's running, it's producing 94 decibels of two-stroke power. Yep, two-stroke engine, nothing too special. If we're gonna have a look inside the unit, we have our carburetor down in here. Yeah. Choke on, choke off. So far as I know, you only need the choke to start the unit. Not that sure if you still need it when it is powered up actually and running smoothly, because the engine needs some time to warm up so the RPMs settle. And yeah, well, as you can probably already hear, there's still some gas inside this unit, about half a liter or so. Exhaust in the back, and the motor is directly connected to this generator in here, and that's how it generates power. And there's some rectification going on behind there, probably to smooth out some things and so on and so forth. Earth connection is here, and yeah. So I thought, let's give this thing a go. Try it on my balcony and annoy my neighbors. Why not? Alright, so the gas valve is actually now opened. Yeah, just use some pliers and open it with that. Only rotates 45 degrees, but anyways, now you gotta open the choke and you gotta switch the unit on. This is the switch that controls the spark of the engine, and yeah, basically you start and stop it. Now all you gotta do is pull on here. Let's give it a try. Alright, so as you can see, I have taken the gas tank off the top of it, and yeah, what I'm currently doing now is just draining the carburetor. Let the gasoline in there drip out, and yeah, let's just have a look inside this unit. I have also taken out the spark plug so I can have a look inside there and, well, take a look at the piston at least and see if that one is in good shape. And without taking this whole thing off and getting out a specific wrench to put this back together, which I don't have. It's a torque wrench. And yeah, and so far I must say I am quite impressed. But what we can already see is that there is a little bit of corrosion in here. Nothing really to really worry about, since that's just affecting the cooling fins. And yeah, I could just leave it like this and it would still last for quite some time actually. But what I'm gonna do also is take some sandpaper, wipe those clean until I have got the steel shining back up, and gonna put some rust remover on there. Now this is some quite expensive and good stuff actually. It's not really that I need it, but yeah, I just want to test this out, and why not? Yeah, in here we just have a huge coil. Well, it's just an electromotor actually, nothing else. And yeah, that just runs at a couple of thousand RPMs and yeah, generates 230 volts. What I'm also doing is cleaning the unit up a bit, since there is quite a lot of two-stroke oil down here where the muffler is. And yeah, I just want to have it nice and clean. Yeah. So, I always wanted one of these, and this was my chance to get one. And it does work quite good, actually. And well, I mean, replacing the valve for the gas tank, it's something that costs like €3 or so. I mean, you don't have even to get the original replacement part. You can just take any one that has a screw on there and fits. That's it. It's so easy, actually. And yeah, wow, that's quite a lot of oil out there. So yeah, the guy told me he cleaned it. Yeah, I don't believe him. Yeah, he did at least clean the carburetor. I have to say that. That is definitely cleaned. Otherwise this thing wouldn't start up the second time or first time you pull it. So yeah, that's definitely surprising. I like it. And yeah. An interesting thing, the rust is only on the top, it's not on the bottom. Same as for this. Well, of course the fins had the oil over it, so that explains it. What I also find interesting is that the muffler, it hasn't got any rust on it at all. Wow. So this thing does not have a lot of use in its whole time being operated. Just basically has been staying around and yeah, being used 5 times, 10 times at a festival and run a couple of hours, and it's in great condition so far for a unit from 2005. Yeah, this thing is over 10 years old. Wow. Alright, some good news and some bad news. The good news is that I found a replacement for that gasoline valve. The bad news is it's mirrored. Which means that, yeah, the opening is on its, well, the exit for the gasoline is on the left-hand side, whereas on this one, it's on the right-hand side, and I could not find any single other one where it would be on the other side. Now, I don't know how exactly that's gonna look in the end. In the worst-case scenario, I have to cut away some plastic in here, which wouldn't really bother me, actually. But in the best case scenario, it just stays in this position and I have to reach around in here in the back to actually get access to that lever. Or, what's also possible, I take off this lid here, take out the broken lever, put a new lid in, put the new rubber in, and yeah, you do that, because those seem to be exactly identical. Which I personally think is the best option. Well, in the offer there were 2, and yeah, sacrifice one and see how it turns out. Alright, and as you can see, there's a bit of a difference now. See the rust? It's gone! Well, the only thing that I did is I took some sandpaper, quite rough sandpaper actually, didn't have anything else. This yeah, you can already see this is quite hard stuff. And I just basically wiped the whole piston head clean. And what I did then is I put this rust protection liquid on top of it. And yeah, as you can already see, it's starting to get a little of a bluish purpley tone on the electromotor here, or the generator. And as you can see, it's starting to get that bluish purple tone there. Since, yeah, I put a small, very small coating on there, and on the other side you can still see the rust on it. Again, it's not really necessary for me to do this, and I don't actually have to do it at all. I'm just doing it to give this the best possible chance of operating and working. And yeah, hoping that everything works out fine. I did miss some small pieces, those 2 down there. Those I couldn't get the rust off. And on the label of the motor, but it seems that works quite nicely as well. Only problem is I think this is gonna be a smoke show when I power it up first and the motor actually gets really hot. Since, yeah, I don't really have a chance of actually cleaning this, it's gonna be quite impressive, I think. Since, yeah, after 24 hours or so, you're just gonna take this thing, take a wet cloth and wipe over everything to get the residue of this liquid off. Which, yeah, I don't actually really feel like doing, but yeah, I think it's better to do it. So I just have to finish up that part of the generator and then we're done. And this is how it looks after 24 hours. Because, well, this rust protection liquid, that has to cure for a certain amount of time. So it does its chemical reaction and everything. And when it's done with that, you will see that the metal now, or the steel in here actually, has got a bluish tone to it. Nope, that is not corrosion. What has happened now is supposedly this now has created a layer on top of it, which is quite hard for oxygen to react with, or in general corrode. And yeah, it definitely looks a lot better with that. All I gotta do now is take a wet cloth and wipe over everything to get the rest of, well, the residue that's still there from that rust removal on here, and yeah, just basically take it off. You don't actually have to do that, but the thing is, this gets hot, and I don't know what happens if the residue of this gets hot. It's probably gonna make quite a smoke show, and yeah, I don't really want that. Alright, and as you can see, we are out again, and yeah, I've got everything back together. Got the new gas valve in there. I'm actually thinking about scrapping the filter because that limits the gasoline flow somehow, and well, there are two filters in here, one in the top and one in the valve itself. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is, yeah, just got a 400 watt light bulb there, sodium vapor lamp, the circuit to actually power it, and yeah, let's hook this up to the generator. Get this thing up and running and try it out. That works just fine.